And Kenya are victors over the first East African derby as regards to the African Cup of Nations. Victorious after beating neighbors Tanzania by 3-2. Now check this out. Tanzania beat Uganda on the final day to qualify for this AFCON. And now Kenya beats on Tanzania in the African Cup of Nations. Yeah. But of course, I'm not alone. We shall be discussing this here. Haruna is with me here tonight. And let me actually bring you to speed on this one. What went right for the Kenyans and totally went wrong for the Tanzanians in the second half?
Sincerely, we have had one of the best games in this AFCON.
Yes.
It was entertaining, full of learning, goals, name it. It was all there. But the turning point was that equalizer.
Very true.
That equalizer for Kenya. And the way it came, I wish the producer could do.
Yeah, he'll be bringing
us that goal.
Yes.
It was a mistake from Manura. Remember, it was a free kick. He saved, and after saving, Mwantika kicked it outside for a corner. Tanzania was not in possession. It was a corner, and when he faked injury, after treatment, everybody switched off.
Everyone was
everybody completely. The Tanzanian defense switched off.
Here we go. Here we go.
Look. Take us back to the free kick itself.
Okay, Producer Peter, if you can actually go back to the free kick itself.
Go back.
Let's go back to the
That was the turning point.
The free kick was the turning point.
Before that equalizer,
yes,
Tanzania was in control of proceedings.
Yes.
They were taking the game to Kenya.
Yes.
And in fact, they were in the lead.
Very true.
But immediately, the goalkeeper made that mistake. They never came back into the game. And Kenya gained
the momentum.
The momentum.
What you're saying is that the goalkeeper actually, he's faking the injury, is the one that led
costed Tanzania completely.
Because it was already a corner kick for the Kenyans. So why fake it?
Tanzania are just unfortunate. Believe you me, if Onyango was a Tanzanian, they would have won this game 2-0. Because all the goals he has considered today were avoidable.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Look at the third one. Conceding from a distance. A goalkeeper like Manura, at his status, to me, I've been disappointed by his performance today. When you look at the whole setup, but there's also a tactical change, which this Frenchman made, bringing on Eric Johanna.
Okay.
The moment that guy came on the pitch, he started dictating terms for Tanzania, and he was the guy who made that final ball to Orunga to score that third goal. Tanzania sincerely had it done by the loss because they were in control of this game.
Okay, now there we go. Who is marking really?
No one.
Who is marking there?
No one. Believe me, Otai, they had completely switched off because when Manula affected that injury, then everybody went off.
Exactly.
Because a goalkeeper, unless it's unavoidable, unless it is inevitable, that is sincere, you cannot continue.
Yeah.
But he has not been injured, then he faked the what? He faked the injury. Trying to do what? To waste time.
So he was actually buying time for the...
Definitely. They ended up conceding the equalizer.
Okay.
And the moment they conceded the equalizer, then Kenya came back into the game. Because you know it has been a game of two halves.
Yes.
The first half belonged to Tanzania.
Yes, 2-1.
Then the second half was all Kenya throughout.
That's very true, very true, very
and
true.
With this win, Kenya has boosted its own chances of progressing because they will now be looking at a point against Senegal.
Yeah, very true.
That's their last game.
Yeah.
Tanzania has to beat up
Algeria, very true.
Which is
very tricky.
Which is a hard call.
Okay, here's the second goal for the Kenyans.
That's the third one. That's the third one. Look at the distance.
The distance.
Look at the positioning of the goalkeeper. This is unacceptable in goalkeeping. It's totally unacceptable. He saw the ball coming. It wasn't that speedy.
Yes.
It was on a slow pace, but they beat you from such a distance. You see? He even knows that he has made a mistake. He even knows that he has costed the team. You see the way, the reaction. The reaction is so little that I have written down my fellow teammates.
Indeed. Now let's talk about Olunga. On day number 1 against
Against
Algeria. Olunga did not shine, but today, I think in the East African Derby, he comes and scores such goals here.
Definitely. And in fact, he has just been picked as man of the match.
True.
Yeah,
Very
he has
true.
just been picked as man of the match. He now has 2 goals. He joins Emokwi.
Yes.
And the other guy is he who? Adama Traore.
No,
No,
actually,
Adama Traore, they are different.
Oh, his name actually keeps on disturbing me. Tope, Kope, okay, right. We shall remember. But he's from Benin anyway.
Definitely.
Yes. So at the end of the day, Olunga, very, very, can say good performance coming through from him in relation to today's game. And it is him who has lifted the Kenyan spirit. So basically, the Harambee Stars could be back into contention as the Taifa Stars could be matching out.
As far as qualification to the next round is concerned, to the round of 16, it's very easy. You see, even now, DRC, after their 2 losses, they are still in contention for at least a best losers slot.
Best losers slot, yeah. Very
Now,
true.
Kenya have just boosted their own chances because with the 3 points, they only need a point against Senegal.
Against Senegal.
And they can even go for a win because it takes them to 60 points.
Yeah, Senegal just lost today against...
Senegal have just lost today to Algeria.
Yes.
And there will also be sort of confidence when they go against Kenya, which gives Kenya an extra motivation. In that way, they will go for a win. Even if they end up getting 1 point, it will be very important for their own chances of progressing. Because with the 4 points, there's no way you can tell me that they will miss out on the best losers
or even number
slot.
2. Anything can happen. They can
Definitely.
actually climb to number 2.
And you see Tanzania now has a hard call.
Indeed.
To
Very
beat
difficult.
Algeria in that last game.
Very difficult.
It will be asking too much.
Oh, some of the highlights of the game proper, and you actually realize that second half, like we say, totally belonged to the Kenyans, and what skill we have there. You have to admit the Kenyans began dancing all over. They knew this was done and dusted. This was theirs. They began slowly, really. Is this a Kenya that we normally see in athletics, in the marathons, the long distance? They love to go slowly. Then towards the finishing line is when they begin adding on this. Yeah. Is this the Kenya we really know?
And when you look at the side of the coaches, I think the Frenchman did better than Amunike.
Yeah, the Ghanaian.
You see, Amunike brought on John Boko.
Yes.
He is a bad player, but he's very slow.
Yeah, true.
And his introduction somehow reduced the pace of the what?
Yeah,
the pace of Tanzania.
Yeah.
Then the other guy, the Sebastian Min, brought on Eliki Johanna. He's speedy, talented, and he has the skill. The moment he came on, he just started dictating the pace of the game. And at the end of the day, they ended up getting the required result.
True.
Which I think to me, Amunike got it all wrong.
His tactics
in the second half. His tactics have been wanting.
Well, could we say that this could be maybe the last for Amunike, being the coach of Tanzania, in case Tanzania does not qualify to the last 16? Do we see Amunike still being in charge over the Tanzanian squad? Or Tanzania might actually look for someone else?
After this AFCON.
After this AFCON.
I predict his exit. I predict his exit. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because when you look at Tanzania, fine, he has taken them to the promised land.
Yes.
After 39 years.
Yes.
Just like we were during the Gabon AFCON.
Yeah.
But even the way they qualified. Remember that final game against Uganda. We're in the same group.
Yeah,
but that final game against Uganda, finally we lost it 3-0. But the game left so many unanswered questions. Even up to now, people were asking, was it real?
Yeah, how
did it happen? You see, the way Tanzania qualified, in fact, it was on the last day.
On the last day.
They looked poor, even in the first game against Senegal.
Yeah.
If Senegal had come to score, Tanzania would have swallowed like 6, to be sincere.
Very true.
They had a poor game, and I had thought that they have gone over that with that first half performance. But in the second half, they totally switched off, they totally collapsed, and Kenya gained. At the end of the day, they are the victors.
Very true.
Which you give it to them.
Well, Haruna Chobe, thank you very much for being with us tonight again, and we hope to have your super skills in analysis and teaching when it comes down to the game of football. But as we wind up, we need to remind you that we have more football for you tomorrow from, of course, 5 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. We shall be having more football for you free. And also some of the latest stories coming through all day from Egypt is that our very own coach, Izabre, is actually being monitored by very many clubs in Egypt. There is National, together with, we are told that a team by the names of Al Hali have actually approached FUFA for the signatures of the coach.
In fact, that's where he was.
Yes,
before coming
exactly.
to
Now there is rumor again that he's being wanted together with our very own Kadu. So there is a lot going on in Egypt, but let's wait and see because some of the talks come through, because the AFCON is not only a place where we play football, but also where business is done.
Definitely.
Very many scouts are there, very many scouts wanting to follow the proceedings. But let's meet again today. Hey,
yeah,
it's already today. Let's meet again today with more football coming up at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. So let's say good morning, and for those, good night. Bye-bye. Haruna Chobe, thank you very much again.
Thank you, sir.